This is Samuele Dier. He's 18 years old and he plays for Lens in France. He's the son of Serge Die. But why does this matter? Well, it matters because Samuele is quietly becoming one of the most underrated 2006 strikers in Europe. And you guys might be thinking, Samuele, you're his agent. Of course you're going to say something like that. Of course you're going to praise him. And you know what? You actually got a point there. Of course. In fact, as you know, I only represent players I really believe in and I really like. There is a reason why I talk like this about Samuele Dier. And in this episode, I will be telling you why I believe so much in Samuele Dier's potential, a little bit about him as a striker, as a player, his numbers, because numbers never lie, and why you should be paying attention to him. But also, in these weeks, you sent so many DMs and so many questions about the life as a football agent. What's the salary of an agent? Who decides which player to sign? And so many other questions. I want to reply as many questions as possible, and I'll be doing this in this video while we drive through Europe, go to France and watch one of Samuele Dier's matches, tell you a little bit more about this player. Let's go. So it was 1999-2000 Serie A season. I was 12 years old, living in Sardinia, obsessed with football. And I mean really obsessed. I think at home I still have the Panini stickers with all the squads of that season. And you'll be saying, Samuele, cool story, but what does this has to do with this video and with Samuele Dier? Well, stay with me, trust me. You see, that season there was a small club punching above their weight in Serie A called Regina. By the way, these are the years where Serie A was great, so good that even Regina had some incredible talent and some very young, talented players coming through. A name above all of them, Andrea Pirlo. Yes, guys, Andrea Pirlo. Another player playing close to Andrea Pirlo that season was Serge Die, defensive midfielder from Ivory Coast. And you see, I just love this job because fast forward 20 years, I'm driving through France, going to watch one of the games of one of our players, Samuele Die, which is the son of Serge Die, the guy I used to watch on TV while I was, dreaming about playing football or working in football when I was 12 years old in Sardinia.
So we arrived at Folkestone where we get the Eurostar. It's only 35 minutes. The problem is I should arrive like 10 minutes earlier if I wanted to get on the earlier train. So now I'll have to wait an hour, I think. That means we will get at Calais at 1:45 French time. So I have an hour to get to the pitch. So I should be there 10 minutes before kickoff. I love the Eurostar because it's so handy, but I wasn't expecting this hour wait. Q&A, let's answer a few questions. Something that you guys always ask quite a bit is, who pays for travels, all the expenses, the flights, trains, fuel, the food? And the answer is, it depends, guys. In my case, I have a very good contract with Entourage. Thank you, Entourage Football. So all my expenses are covered. I have a fixed salary, I have expenses covered, and I have a percentage on the transfers of the players. So it really depends. It's not easy today to find an agency that will pay you both salary and bonuses and expenses as well. When I started with another agency, I only had expenses. Then with another agency, I had expenses plus percentages on the transfers. Now I have all three. So it all depends on where you're at with your career, what you guys want. You're in power to negotiate. You're in power to look for something that you want. Still here, stuck at the Eurotunnel, so I might just answer another question. What do you use to pay? We have a great setup with Entourage Football. I have Revolut here on my Apple Pay. I have also my physical card. I always pay with Apple Pay, and I just need to keep the receipt. And on the app directly, there is a section where I just take a picture, put a few notes on what the trip was about or what the expense is about. It gets approved by accounts at Entourage and it's all sorted. It's a great way of keeping track of all the expenses. I'm not the fastest on doing it. My friend Sam in accounts might chase me quite a few times. It's going to be a bit of a stretch because we're going to get there just as the match started. I don't want to miss anything about this match. We are now in the Euro tunnel on the train, just waiting to depart. It's 10 minutes to 1. It's a little bit late, so hopefully I can still get there in time. So another question that you guys asked me a few times was, who decides which matches you go to watch? It really depends on the agency, it depends on the targets. But at Entourage, I love the fact that we have that sort of freedom. We can decide the matches we want to go to see ourselves. Of course, a big priority is watching our players. So we always try to go to watch as many matches that we can for our players. And then the second target is, of course, scout new players, watch new players live, watch players that we have been watching in videos and scouting via video, watch them live to see if the opinion is the same. We have freedom. I like to vary a lot. I like to go to Premier League matches, Championship matches, League One, under 18s, under 21s. Good match, 2-2 at the moment, but they just gave a penalty to PSG. Samuele Dier scored, by the way. He just got himself a penalty and scored. Great goal. 2 goals for Samuele Dier, our player.
A great guy, first of all, and that's something that I really love because, you know, I really want to work with great guys. Being a great player is just not enough for me to work with the player. But as a striker, as a footballer, I just love him. He's an all-style striker, one of those strikers that you don't see often anymore. A striker that's very direct, that attacks the area, that attacks the goal. He's always in the danger area. Doesn't matter where the action starts from, doesn't matter where the ball is. As soon as the ball reaches that danger area, he will be there, and he will be there to finish properly. We are very happy with the work and with the improvement we've seen in Samuele Dier. From an agency point of view, we are trying to support him as much as we can with extra sessions, with analysis sessions. There's a lot of work that he will be doing, but the improvement has been incredible. And as always, numbers don't lie, guys. He's on already 13 goals for the under-19s, debuted for the under-23s, basically the Lens B team, scored twice for the B team, and of course we are starting to look at first team football. He's got another year contract at Lens. He loves it there, but his numbers are getting him attention, of course, for all around Europe, and there are still a few games to play for this season.
One of your questions was, when you go to a match and you have a player there, do you just watch your player, or are you able to watch other players as well? The answer is yes, I do watch other players as well. Of course, the focus is on our player, but by now I've kind of got used to, and if you know what you're looking for, what you like in a player, I'm able to watch more players at once. So yeah, even today I did spot 2-3 very good players. Not only very good players, because at this level, guys, they're all good. PSG against Lens on the 19th, you know, top league. 2 goals for Samuele Dier. Great stuff against PSG. Match ended 3-3, as I said, 2 goals from Samuele Dier. Not only the 2 goals, but a very good performance. It's 5 o'clock here. I'm gonna wait for Samuele Dier to get changed, and then we're gonna go to have hot tea somewhere, spend some time, check on him, how he's feeling, how's things, if he's enjoying it, if everything's okay with the manager, with the club. So one of you guys asked, how many players can a scout or an agent watch at the same time during the match? It really depends on what you're looking for. I recently been on a course and met a scout with many years of experience. He basically manages to scout all 22 players on the pitch. And when I say scout, it means also do reports. That's incredible. It's not easy, you need experience. I would say that me personally, attending one of those courses, I've seen how much I can still improve. You think about scouting a player just as a, you know, oh, he's a centre back, he's a good header, or he's very good anticipating his striker, you know, weak foot, all these things, but then you can actually go a lot deeper. You want to have that knowledge and that ability to, you know, to understand who you're looking at, but also to be able to talk football with the sporting directors and the managers, because it's very easy to be caught out if you don't have knowledge, if you don't have knowledge on the player. Also, if you don't know what to say apart from, you know, he has a good shot, he has a good pass. I personally go something around 10, 11 players, 12 players. That's the amount of players that I normally focus on during a game. It can be like 3 or 4 from one side and 5 or 6 from the other side. Another question that I won't answer is, how do you get in contact? How do you get to speak to the families and to the players you want to represent? Right, guys, if you can't find a way, then maybe becoming an agent is not something for you guys, or working as an agent is not something for you. And sorry if I sound a little bit like too, I don't know, tough on this one, but it's the reality. Guys, you just need to find a way to speak to the player that you want to represent and to the family that you want to represent. Find a way. Social media, where does the family work? Who's connected to the family? Who's connected to the player? Who can get you a number close to the player? Again, nobody will help you, or at least nobody will give you an exact map on how to sign your first player, on how to sign your 10th player. Get in the mentality that you have to do whatever you have to do to get in contact with that player. If you can't get in contact with that player, it's maybe not the job for you guys. 7 p.m. guys, it's getting late. Still got 20 minutes to the train, and then let's see what time they can put me on the train. It's gonna be a late night, I think. There's no 9 to 5. So guys, if you're after a 9 to 5 job being a football agent, forget about it. Go and get a different job, because 9 to 5 is not something possible. At Calais, waiting to get on the train. So let's do the last 3, and they all 3 very interesting. How do you handle the situation where a player isn't getting enough game time? I'm a big fan of game time. I prefer game time to higher division, to higher leagues. So I always recommend players to make sure they go into a league where they can get enough game time. If you're in a situation where you're already at the club, of course, and you're not getting enough game time, there's different things that you can do. We always recommend the player to speak to the manager to understand if there are any issues, if the manager has any advice for the player, how we can improve, how we can get more game time. If the player, however, is not comfortable with it, or he wants us to deal with it, then we deal with the club. We check with the club, we try to understand, again, what's the situation, if there are any specific reasons, and we do everything we can. We see if the player can do more training sessions outside their training sessions, if it's a mental thing, if it's a physical thing, if it's something on the pitch, off the pitch, speaking to the club and understanding what's their view on the player, what's their vision, because if they don't have a vision long term, or they're not happy with the player long term, then we need to find a solution. We need to get that player to a club, maybe on loan or maybe transfer. It also depends on the age of the player. Is the team winning the league? Is the team top of the table? Is the player in front of him like incredible? Loads and loads of things, but definitely we want to be active and work on something like this when the problem arises. What's the biggest misconception people have about football agents? Well, I would say this is a great question. There is a big misconception about agents, and don't get me wrong, this is because there are good agents and not so good agents out there. First of all, it always looks like the agents are working against the clubs when clubs actually benefit from working with agents. There's situations where clubs need to get rid of a player, and it's a bad way of saying it, but it's the truth. They need to get rid of the player, and agents help the club to not lose lose too much money on that player, move the player quickly in order to then have the funds to buy somebody else. There's other situations where a club has been slow offering maybe a pro deal to a player or renewing the contract of the player. An agent could easily transfer that player somewhere else or go somewhere else for more money, and the player could go somewhere else for more money, but actually with the help of the agent, that club manages to keep hold of the player and renew the contract. The narrative of what agents do for their players from when they are young, behind the scenes, off the pitch, you don't hear that story enough times, in my opinion. And of course, being an agent, I'm biased, but this is really what I think. How do you balance between pushing for your players' best interests and maintaining a good relationship with clubs? Now, I definitely want to maintain a good relationship with clubs. Having said that, we are employed by our players. We are there to help and support our players, and personally I will do everything I can to help my player, everything I can to have my player's best interest at first. If that means having to argue with a club, having to fall out with a club to protect my player and to fight for my player, I'm ready to do that. It's very simple. The player career is the most important thing for me. That's the priority.